Welcome in the Home Team Friday Countdown. I'm Colin Davies, and the playoffs are raging on across the tri-state in Kentucky and Illinois. The early rounds continue. Meanwhile, in Indiana, we've got some regional championship games. Let's take a look at some of the games we'll be talking about tonight. The only game in the city of Evansville is Memorial hosting undefeated East Central at Enloe Field. The playoff path for the Tigers not getting any easier after taking down a previously perfect Wrights team last week. And up in Bloomington, it's a North versus South matchup as the Huskies look to take their momentum from last week's 60-point performance against Castle into this one against the Panthers. And last but not least, in Kentucky, Owensboro taking on McCracken County in a highly anticipated matchup with two similar teams. Let's bring in one of our experts, the voice of Ballsy Field, Zane Cloudfelter. Zane, we'll start with you and the game up in Bloomington. What do the Huskies need to do to take down a 10-1 squad on the road?
Well, Colin, it took 23 years, but the North Huskies are sectional champions after winning a shootout last week against Castle. The offense stepped up big time and had multiple big plays for the Huskies, totaling 635 yards of offense, including nearly 500 yards rushing behind 4 touchdowns from Jason Rucker II. Sam McKinney was effective passing and threw 2 touchdowns, along with 2 rushing scores. The firepower is clearly there offensively for North, so it'll come down to the defense on whether or not the Huskies advance.
Well, let's stay in the SIAC as Memorial will have to beat an undefeated team for the second straight week as they take on East Central. In order to win, the Tigers have to do what no one has done by slowing down the Trojans running back Josh Ringer, who is averaging 195 yards on the ground per game. If any team is capable, it's Memorial, who's been phenomenal on defense this season, especially against rushing offenses like Jasper, who they held to just 13 and 14 points. And now we head from a couple of SIAC schools to a few PAC teams, one of which is North Posey taking on Triton Central. It's 2 one-loss teams. Zane, who has the edge in this one?
Well, Colin, that's a great question. Jed Galvin has been impressive for North Posey this postseason, and his latest performance helped the Vikings win a sectional title for the first time since 2005, a season where the Vikings made it all the way to the state final. Galvin had 5 touchdowns a week ago, and he'll be counted on offensively along with Liam Stone, but the key for North Posey is maintaining its stellar defensive effort. The Vikings have given up an average of just 10 points per game this season, and as the old saying goes, defense wins championships.
Well, let's stay in the pocket for this next game as Gibson Southern travels to Tri-West Hendricks. The Titans will have to hone in on a dual threat QB, Malachi Walden, who gets over 100 rushing and passing yards per game. And once again, a similar team earlier in the season was Heritage Hills, in which through that, the one taking down Jet Goldsberry were the Titans and company. So we know Gibson Southern can get a couple stops, and that Sean DeLong and Tanner Boyd will put up points consistently in that one. And the final pocket team in action is the Patriots of Heritage Hills. Zane, you've been watching them all season long here. What can we expect from them taking on a 11-1 Batesville team? Yeah,
this will be actually the 6th meeting between Batesville and Heritage Hills, with all 5 of the previous matchups coming in the regional title game, and all 5 ended with a Heritage Hills victory. If the Patriots want to make it 6-0 against the Bulldogs, they'll need to utilize the strength up front blocking to open up running lane. Heritage Hills had nearly 400 yards rushing last week, with Hunter Meredith and Jet Goldsberry running all over Scottsburg. And if the Patriots can replicate that, Todd Wilkerson's crew will be in their 2nd semi-state in 5 seasons.
And now we head over to Kentucky as Owensboro hosts South Warren. The Red Devils are 7-4, are fighting an uphill battle against the 9-2 Spartans. The test will be on the Owensboro defense, who's had up and down games. They cannot afford to have a poor one against this Spartan team, which puts up 43 points a game. Owensboro's offense is not that far off, but a key stop here and there will make a difference in this one. And staying in Kentucky, here's one of the biggest games of the week. It's Henderson taking on McCracken. As you can see here, both teams have dead-even records and nearly dead-even stats. Both offenses like to put up points, so there should be some fireworks in this one. But the key part here is that the last time these two met this season, the Colonels doubled up the Mustangs, winning 56-28. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull off the same result again. And after all the games finish up Friday night, tune in tomorrow on ABC 25 at 10 o'clock, where we'll have a mini edition of Home Team Friday, bringing the highlights from the games across Indiana and Kentucky happening tomorrow night. We can't wait to bring you the best highlights of the week. We'll be right back.